beloved viewers, subscribers. Welcome again to another Learning Abryth lesson. If you're new to this ministry's presentations, welcome. For those who would have been eagerly anticipating more lessons, we have not forgotten you. So many things are happening in between, but we give all esteem to the Most High YaHUaH that we continue to do these presentations. So we are here with lesson 10 in the Learning Abryth series. Of course, in order to understand a number of words and how they are formed in any particular language, it is important to first understand the letter roots, the letters that are used to form words in any language we're trying to understand. And so in this language, we are looking at Abryth AlaphBat, which is the Hebrew, or in some instances it's called Semitic AlaphBat. We do not say alphabet when referring to the Hebrew letters or the Abryth letters, as alphabet is a Greek description for the Greek list of letters, and it also continued throughout the other list of letters or language list of letters. But the assignment of alphabet is really Greek. When referring to the Abryth or Hebrew letters, it's AlaphBat. In modern times, the English list of letters, which really came from Latin list of letters, you will observe those are called ABCs, referring, of course, to the first letters appearing in the list.
The groups of letters that form the words of a particular language are usually called by the first two letters. It is technically incorrect to call the Abryth group of letters the alphabet because the first two letters of the Abryth are the Aleph and the Bat. Therefore, we say AlaphBat. The first two letters of the Greek grouping are the alpha and the beta. Therefore, those as well as the Latin and today's English groups are called alphabet.
The following 7 letters were not part of the original Abryth AlaphBat. The first 4 of the 7 below are not in the Abryth nor the Greek list of letters. These are F, J, W, and V. The letters J and W were not in the Abryth, Greek, nor the later Latin list of letters. These letters did not appear until the English group of letters came to be. We're sure you can think of some words or names that contain these letters. Those would not have been the original representations of those names or words once they contain letters that were not represented in the original AlaphBat. The next 3 are E, I, and O. In modern times, these are referred to as vowels. These were not represented in the original Abryth either, but were added much later, and so some letters of the original Abryth were replaced by E's, I's, O's, even F's, J's, W's, and V's. These were replacements and not original representations.
Ancient Hebrew letters have four characteristics. 1. Form. 2. Name. 3. Meaning. 4. Sound. Let's begin.
So, of course, we want to remind ourselves of the letters contained in the AlaphBat. And we encourage you, if you have not seen our AlaphBat song or AlaphBat share, the AlaphBat song, we invite you to go over and take a look at that, learn the song, sing it, so that it is easier for you to remember the order of the letters or even the names of the letters. But let us remind ourselves of the letters in the AlaphBat. There's the Aleph, Bat, Gam. In some cases, you will see Gamal, and we have explained in lesson 4, the Gamal, like other letters that you will see extensions in terms of the name, but these are the parent roots of these letters. And so you will observe that they are shorter for some of the letters that you are used to seeing longer letters. So Gam is one. You may see Gamal, Gimel in other representations. Dal, in some instances, you'll see Dalet or Dalat. Ha, U, Zan, Khat. Khat is sometimes written as Khat. And we already did in our previous lesson, we would have explained how some words you will see KH and some you will see CH and how those came to be. Tat, Ya, Kaf, Lam, Mam, Noon, Samak, Ayan, Pa, Sad, Kuf, Rash, Shan, and Tau. Of course, for this lesson, we are focusing on the tat, which is, of course, the 9th letter in the AlaphBat. Now, the language, the Paleo-Abryth or Paleo-Hebrew language, the language of the Abrim or what most know as Hebrews, which was not the original word, that was actually created by a different um, historical writer. And if you look in if you watch lessons 1 and 2, you have a clearer idea why we are not saying Hebrew as the official word, but Abri, Abrim, Abryth, which speaks to how the original word was referred. But this language of the Abrim is one spoken with an emphasis on the Ruch. And Ruch, you will hear some say Ruach, but there's already a pronunciation associated, which is the U, so Ruch. Speaks to the breath, wind, or spirit. So a great deal of emphasis in this language is guided by the Ruach. With the language of the Abrim, each letter has a meaning and also a numeral associated with it. that adds meaning to each word in which they are used. So the formulation of Abry words have a lot to do with the letter roots and what these letters mean. And when they are combined, what is being communicated. The language was not an abstract language. And so every word was used to describe something that was seen or could be touched or could be heard. Um, so they were not abstract meanings. For example, there are some who say when they're referring to yada, they just say praise, but praise is an abstract word. What is praise? So yada speaks to the extension of hands. It speaks to um, being solid in giving honor to the Most High. Uh, uh, Even the word halal, which is different from halal, so don't get those two mixed up. But halal, and if you go back to our um, previous lessons, you will see how we explain halal versus halal. But halal, based on the letters used, it speaks to uh, a man with hands raised, looking forward in joy to the light. But in our context now, you will only hear persons saying praise. But it was much deeper than just the word praise, which is an abstract term. So we continue. So the early Shemitic letter remained unchanged. And it is, of course, highlighted on your screen. So it remained unchanged when you got to the middle Semitic script, but then it changed in the late Semitic script. The letter, of course, influences the Greek theta. Theta. And of course, the late script would have influenced the numeral 6. What we see following the late script is the modern script, which is what a number of persons would have been used to. So you see how it would have evolved over time. But what particular item or thing was used to represent this letter? We'll take a look. So you'll notice the imagery on your screen. So the original pictograph of this letter tat is a container, which was believed to have been made of wicker or clay. And containers were a very important item among the nomadic Abrim or Hebrew people. And they were used for storing grains, tools, foods, housewares, and other items. Wicker baskets were used as nets for catching fish. And so some of the meanings of this letter include basket, or contain, or store, or clay. So this, of course, would have been used by the Abri. Bearing in mind, Abri or Hebrew people were not only people of Yisrael, okay, but the descendants of Abraham. So even other other nations came out of his loins, such as the Arabs, and they were also Abryth people. So there are some persons who refer to the language as Yahudi, but the language was not only affiliated with the tribe of YaHUaH. Okay, so we've attempted to illustrate here the basket or the container, and you will observe based on the top view of this item that it has a similar T or X shape, really an X shape, that is used as the pictograph and also the middle script of the letter. So we've attempted to illustrate what this would have possibly looked like. Now, there is a little bit of confusion amongst, well, between two letters, the tat and the tau, because both letters involve a T sound. And it is unlikely that in the original Abryth, two letters would have the same sound. And so what some believe, because the Greeks adopted the letter theta from the tat, they believe that it's possible that the tat was really pronounced with a TH sound and the tau was pronounced with just the solid T. Whilst there are others who have other thoughts concerning whether the tat was the solid T and the tau was the TH sound. But we're just explaining so that you understand. If you see it represented the tat as a solid T or TH, there is still some historical anomalies as to what the letter really sounded like, but it is believed, having compared it to the Greek theta, that the letter was possibly pronounced with a TH. The modern name for this letter is tet, and that's what you'll see in some of the more modern contexts. But some believe it was possibly originally pronounced that, which means mud or clay. And these, of course, were the materials used in making these baskets or these containers. So now we get to the exciting part, or script of the YaHUaH, or scripture of the day. And again, for those who are new, each time we do one of these lessons, we try to incorporate a script or scripture of the YaHUaH. YaHUaH means day, so that persons get used to seeing the letters, primarily the paleo letters, that possibly would appear on a tablet of stone or a papyrus or some sort of ancient script somewhere. You get used to seeing the letters and knowing what different words mean. Now, the letters and the words and what are now referred to as sentences would not have been separated as you see it on the screen here, but they all would have flowed in a continuous flow or lines. And it would have been important to understand the letter roots, the parent roots of words, and the context in which these words were used. For example, possibly where the writing was found, what was happening around that geographic location. That also helps in some contexts. They would have compared it to other writings, Punic writings, etc., other ancient writings, and would have used those different contexts to determine what may have been written. So in this context, we have two verses of scripture here, one to the top, one below. And we want to see what words are written here. For those who would have been looking at or different lessons, by now you would recognize that the first word would be the la. And if you were looking at the previous lessons, at least maybe the previous 2 or 3 lessons, you would observe what la is. And la means no. In the current context, you will see do not. The next word, of course, is ganab. This is the gam, the nun, and the bath. Ganab. And what does this mean? Ganab may be translated as deceive, secretly carry away, or steal. So no deceive, or no steal, or no secretly carry away. Okay? Do not expect the language to sound as coordinated as the English language with all subject, verb, agreements, and all of those things. Remember, the language would have been based on what was seen, what was experienced, what could be touched, things that were around them, things that could be felt, such as the wind. So it is not going to sound exactly like the way we're used to speaking in languages such as English. Not everybody speaks English. So the first verse is Laganab. The next one begins again with La. And if we are looking, what does La mean? Correct. No. And in the context today, you will see do not. The next word has the ayin, the nun, and the ha. And this word is ana, ana, which means answer or heed or pay attention, respond, give account, announce, testify, bring low. So no answer or do not answer, do not heed, do not pay attention to, do not respond, do not give account, do not announce, do not testify, do not bring low. What comes next is the word shakar with the shan, the kuf, and the rash. Shakar. And shakar means untruth or deceit or falsely or lie or wrongfully. Someone may be saying, oh, I know what this verse is. And if you guessed that we're looking at instructions from the 10 words, or what some call the 10 commandments, then you are correct. What's the next word? That word is ad. And you will notice it has the ayan and the dal. And that word means witness, testimony, or recorder. And the final word is riyah or ra. And that word, oh, it looks like I forgot to place the highlight around it, but that word speaks to friend, associate, husband, brother, fellow, neighbor, lover. Now let's bring this together. So this verse is saying no or do not, answer, heed, pay attention to, respond to, give account, announce, testify, or bring low, in deceit or falsely, wrongfully, lie or untruth, as a witness or testimony or recorder, against a friend, associate, husband, brother, fellow, neighbor, lover. So what scripture is being reflected there, or scriptures? Shamut, or Exodus 20 verses 15 and 16. Laganab, or no or do not steal, do not deceive, do not secretly carry away. And the next verse, verse 16, La'ana shakar adriyah. And that is saying no or do not, answer, heed, pay attention to, respond, give account, announce, testify, or bring low wrongfully or deceptively or falsely, or as a lie or untruth, as a witness or testimony or recorder against friend, associate, husband, brother, fellow, neighbor, lover. So do not falsely or wrongfully testify or record or falsely or deceitfully bear witness against a friend or a fellow or a lover or a neighbor or a brother or an associate. Notice that ana also means paying attention to. So even if you are not saying it, but you are allowing it to be said to you without stopping it, that is also breaking the instruction. Don't heed to it. Don't pay attention to it. Don't announce it. Don't help to bring low falsely or wrongfully against someone else. When we understand the original meaning behind these words, the scriptures or the verses take on an even greater or deeper meaning. So these are scriptures for the YaHUaH. Thudah Rabbah, thank you very much for joining.
We are the Nazarene of YaHUaH.
And of course, we say Achad,
Ahabah,
which means
one love.
And we thank all our viewers and subscribers, all the family of the Most High, for viewing today's presentation. So remember to smash that like button
Subscribe to the channel
and hit that notification bell so that you may be alerted every time we upload.